my hair. Today, a better way. Man, this book is pretty jacked up. July 20th. It's been a long time since I've done one of these, so I am reading out of Today a Better Way. It is I don't know, maybe this is categorized as a Families Anonymous reader, but I'll show you a picture. I don't know if that's going to flip it around. No, it's going to go backwards, whatever. So Today a Better Way, Families Anonymous publication. I can't take any credit for what I'm going to read, but I can own my comments. They're mine, they're my experiences, um, where I'm at, my growth, and we'll go from there. And then talk about whatever randomness too. I'm on Zoom. So, well, no, wait, what am I on? No, I'm on. Okay, I'll have to figure out how I'm going to do that. Share audio and all that. So back to the reading. July 20th. Today a Better Way. Group harmony. Participation in our Families Anonymous group has blessed me with caring friends. But this atmosphere of understanding and love become clouded when a parent joined our group whom I knew to have his own drug problem. I squirmed at meetings as he talked the program. Talked the program in air quotes. In what I thought was self-deluded and superficial way. How did he expect his youngster to straighten up when his own life was such a mess? Others in the group sensed my disapproval and felt uncomfortable. This personality or this personal personality conflict was so powerful that I thought about dropping out of my beloved Families Anonymous group. Talk about crazy thinking. What happened to my recovery? Thank goodness for our steps and traditions. With the help of other group members, I was able to take an inventory of myself rather than of this other person. I confessed my judgmental attitude and asked my higher power to remove it. I renewed my commitment to the 12 steps to let go of the other member and his problem and stop trying to control. The group's valuable unity was restored. Once again, the 12 steps and the 12 traditions had shown me a better way to live. Today I will judge myself today I will judge only myself, and even then I will judge gently. Wow. So how am I dealing with, man, I just got back from moving a like what would you call it? Like a trailer that you put stuff in to haul around, and I still got grease on my fingers, but how am I living this out? I would say immediately the thing that comes to mind for me is um, exactly what this individual said right at the end of the last paragraph. Um, she renewed her commitment to the 12 steps, let go of the other member and his problem. I'm going to put a pause on this. Let me put this on mute and I'll be right back. I got someone at my door. Sorry. Okay, sorry about that. So the thing that jumps out is in the last paragraph, the individual says, "I renewed my commitment to the 12 steps, let go of the other member and his problem, and stop trying to control. The group's valuable unity was restored. Once again, the 12 steps and the 12 traditions had shown me a better way." I think the thing that jumps out for me is when I feel a similar way, um, I need to remind myself I need to work my own program. I said this to an individual that I used to be a part of a congregation with. And um, I'm glad that she corrected me, because then it made me think about how I use my words. But I was basically saying, you do you. Us individuals that have loved ones around us that are dealing with addiction, we need to work on ourselves. There's more than enough work there. We don't need to be trying to manage somebody else's life. That's what I was trying to say, and I just shortened it up and said, "You do you." When things like this come up, you do you. She's like, "I hate that saying," and I was kind of like, "What do you like?" I don't know. I was like, "What do you mean you hate that?" She's like, "It just kind of means you come up with your own reality." I was like, "Oh, no, no, no. What I meant by it is that you work your own program." And I guess I could have said that. Is I think what I told her. I guess I could have just said you work your own program or something. But that's what I'm reminded when I read this today's submission. I think to myself, my job is to work on me. I am and you'll probably hear this a lot, because I'm not. I just I wear it on my sleeve, and I feel like I need to own it, even with all the baggage of it, of the history of it, but I need to own it. But I have a relationship. I'm a disciple, I'm a follower, I'm a believer of Jesus Christ, and I don't shy away from that. One of his teachings uh, basically, don't focus on the speck of dust in your brother's eye. Worry about the log that is protruding from yours. Basically, remove that thing first, and then you'll see clearly to help your brother out. And that's kind of what comes to mind when I think of this. The way that group harmony, that this individual is talking about, the way that that came back was. It wasn't so much the individual that was coming into the group; it was the person that was already there. That other people were like, "Gee, what are you getting so messed? Why are you so angry or whatever?" And they could sense it. And it wasn't until that individual got their mind right that they were able to that group harmony was restored. Um, and I think about what that might look like in my life. What that would look like if I was more focused on myself, focused on me, and go from there. So these readings here are ultimately for they're my way of I don't know, serving a place where I think is not being served enough, I guess, and more voices and more insights and brains and stuff like that. Experience or not experiences, more sharing needs to be done. In is families need to come to the table, and they need to be able to talk about this. So right now, go prior to COVID-19, addiction was like the opioid crisis. I mean, it's still there. COVID-19 just took our focus away from it, and but it's still there. And I would hear these communities. I don't know where to go. I'd hear these individuals, these loved ones, talking about their family member or their friend or someone around them within their circle that was struggling with addiction. They didn't know where to go, and I would think to myself, man, if they could, and I would just recommend, hey, this is where I've been finding stuff that's been helping me to, number one, like work my program, and that this is what that means. Um, and I've been finding life there. And I do this reader or whatever, and I might show them on my phone because I have the electronic copy of this also. I might show them this. I might show them an Alanine reader called Courage to Change, and then I'll tell them like about a program that I used to attend. I haven't been there for a while, just because of COVID and all that, and I think I'll probably start going again. But it's called the Heart Program, and it's a local recovery center that puts that on, Heartview Foundation. And it's just basically we read this and then we talk. We share about what's going on in our lives, and we let other people speak from their experiences, and we offer support to one another. And I feel like that isn't that if support was there for people all over the United States, all over the world, really, with the opioid epidemic still going on, and then it probably plussing up. I haven't heard what the data is now, but probably plussing up during COVID. Everybody's separated into themselves, and things are starting to open back up now. But I just think to myself, if like Families Anonymous and Al-Anon, Families Anonymous, I think it's not an official group that I'm a part of. It's not Families Anonymous meeting, but I tell you what, some of their concepts and some of their beliefs, I really think that they have it's truth. holds water. And that's why I feel like getting on a YouTube live and talking about these things is important. It's helpful. It's my way of giving back. I've been given, so I'm going to give back. Um, at a dark time in my life as a parent, and as a sibling that sees what addiction does to family members. I can't just show up to a what do you call it? A Families Anonymous meeting or a heart program meeting or whatever, and just take without not giving it back. I still work my program. And what does that look like? Like I said, this reading today, um, I'm reminded that I just had a discussion yesterday talking about I'm not responsible to try to get somebody to manage somebody else's life. And when I try to do that with a loved one or a friend, and I try to manage their life, I make it worse. So why not worry about myself and deal with myself? Maybe I'm triggering them. And that's part of the conversation that I had with this individual just yesterday. So, I found out real fast that I'm a trigger for some of these individuals in my life that struggle with addiction, especially loved ones. I struggle, I try to manage their life, and I'm actually triggering them. I'm a part of the environment. They ultimately make the choice, because I know there'll be a lot of yeah buts out there. Yeah, but they can choose. And no, I get that. But I truly believe that we, as the loved ones that are around them, trigger those things. um, I can tell you that I wasn't a nice person to be around. So I have 21 years of sobriety by the grace of God alone. If it was up to me, I would have been drinking a long time ago. Seriously, I truly believe that there were times that I was just I had to believe that that he was helping me, or else I wouldn't have got through it. I would have let the environment around me and the situations around me consume me, but I really had to believe, like, you did do this for me, and I can run to you with the struggle that I'm having right now. And so 20 years in my own recovery, from drugs and alcohol, and then I turn around and I'm like a dry drunk, and then I try to put my sobriety and my program on a loved one, on an individual, and it just doesn't work. It doesn't work, and I can tell people that from experience. That same conversation I'm talking about yesterday, about talking about working my own program, one of the other things that I talked to this individual about was, um, in my managing my children's lives. I drove one of my children away from the faith. And the reason why I say that I drove them away is because I put on them a set of rules that I saw within Scripture, and a set of rules that I felt communicated um, by individuals. Um, so it was what Scripture had to say. Then it was this Christian subculture, these standards. And I put all of that on in cultural stuff. That's not how we act. That's not how our tribe acts, or whatever. And I would put all that on my oldest son, and then my youngest son, I overcorrected. I knew that I knew, even when I was putting that on him, I knew it was wrong. Um, and then my youngest son, I overcorrected. I gave him like tons of grace, tons of like freedom to do things, and I messed it up. I messed it up with both of my sons. So I know that being totally 100% from me, Bobby, doing a 100% grace and or 100% rules it's just not right. Are there places and seasons that you can move back and forth from? Yeah, there definitely are. But um, yeah, it's crazy how wisdom is achieved, huh? You got to go through some stuff. You got to go through some stuff, and then you get the wisdom. Then you're like, eesh. I learned. I can't go down that road anymore. I can't. I know what not to do now. And so here I am, and I'm fathering in a different way to my adult sons. I'm uncling in a different way to my nieces and nephews. I'm grandparenting. I've 4 grandchildren. I'm grandparenting. I'm trying to do life differently. Here I am, 46 winters on this earth, journeying this earth, and I'm trying to figure it out. And I'm trying to pass on the things that I've learned to others, and to share what I've learned in the Heart program, what I've learned in Families Anonymous, what I've learned in the Al-Anon readings and things like that. Because I truly believe that and I don't apologize for saying this. I truly believe that the recovery community does community better than most places that say they have community. I feel like it's a genuine, caring, and candid community. They'll tell you what you need to hear, like a friend should, and not to maneuver or manipulate on you. But they'll tell you for the ultimate, like, I love you, man, and I seriously want the best for you, but I'm not gonna be your biggest fan. I'm gonna tell you the hard thing because I love you, man. You're my friend, and rarely do you have that type there. Do you stumble upon those relationships? Because they're few and far between, a real relationship where somebody's looking out for you and isn't afraid of hurting your feelings when you need to be told that you're being a what. So it's crazy that one reader, group harmony, today's reading with Families Anonymous made me think of all that. So yeah, I guess the random thing that and I haven't figured out how to share my screen. I think what I'm going to have to end up doing is using a streaming platform like OBS, and then stream it over to YouTube, so I can like share my screen and stuff, and be able to share clips with you, and talk to you about it, and share, and maybe hold counsel together. But yeah, just kind of a crazy time, and again, it just seems like we're stringing them together. We're stringing these crazy times together, and um, I feel like there is a lot that is just dividing us right now, and some of the things that could help us navigate those waters would be just to see each other as worthy of friendship, and try to get to know one another. Quit talking past one another. Man, if I just open up a Google, sorry, one of my monitor screen just went down. Like a Google News, and it's just crazy how I can just scroll through it and just see the division in it all. It's just like, I don't know. That's why I'm starting to fire up these videos again, and I feel like the best thing that I can do is live out the reality of what it means to my people, the Dakota people, the Sistin Wapton Dakota Oyate, northeast corner of South Dakota. Originally came from where our tribe was in Minnesota. But we have a value that our elders talk about, is being a good relative. I've heard Dr. Charles Eastman. He wrote like 19 books. Um, but he says something about, the truest thing that we can do is be a good relative. And then Ella Cara Deloria, in, I believe it's Speaking of Indians, her book Speaking of Indians, she says the same thing. So these individuals were alive when the frontier had just passed the Midwest here. That's where I live. I live in North Dakota, and just the frontier just passed, and they were educated, and they were able to share, at that time, and that even more so now, ancient wisdom. And I've always liked that. Be a good relative to one another, because bottom line, whether you like it or not, we're relatives. We are relatives. We are products of the Creator. Scripture talks about, and I know some of you might not like, oh, here it goes, it's scripture. You just hear me out. I mean, you probably don't hear many. Well, I don't know. You probably don't hear many, for sure. You don't hear many native philosophers. And I'm not saying that I'm one, but I'm just, I dabble. But we are all related. We're a product of the Creator. Scripture highlights that we are His image. We call Him grandfather. My tribe calls Him grandfather. We have ceremony. We received our traditional ways. Received this way of life from him. He's the one that taught us. So if he's the one that taught us, he's the one that gave us these ways. Then that means that this making a relative ceremony that's within my tribe and culture is something that is for the world to learn from. It's just not ours. He doesn't give us something just so we can brag it up. It's the better for the betterment of the tribe. It's for the larger scope. So when I think of not just the Oyate, the Sistine Wapton Dakota Oyate, the Dakota Nation, that's what Oyate means, is nation. It's just not for us. In the same way, I can learn from some of the most fascinating. I love some of the Germanic tribes. These brave people that stood up against Rome. Pitchforks and homemade axes, and they went up against Rome. That was the world power back then. Back when Rome, you know, really was the world power, and they went up against them. I think of like the Vikings, and I think about the Irish and the Scottish, and just like really cool people groups. And I believe that they have something to teach the world too. But it's hard for us to teach each other the things within our culture when we've forgotten about it, or we've just basically we're indifferent or we're passive. We don't want to learn it. We don't want to go down. We don't want to sit down and listen to our elders and hear what they have to say. No, we'll get our information from YouTube. We'll get our information from a Google search or asking Alexa or Siri, but we are not going to sit down and listen to our elders. So now COVID has taken, like from my tribe, COVID has taken a lot of the elders away, and we lost a lot of wisdom. And it's I remember our tribal historic preservation officer saying during a council meeting one time, it was on YouTube Live, and she was sharing with the council and those present, and she said something to the effect of, some of you in this room, because of how much our elders like died, how many elders died that carried traditional wisdom with them, cultural wisdom of the Dakota people. So many of them died that we lost so much that some of you in this room, as she looks around the room, you are being pushed into a position, to a place of being an elder quicker than you were ready for. But we need you. We need you to step up. I'm 46. And I don't think that my eldership really starts for another 10 years, maybe 10 years plus. But basically what she was saying is, how I understood the message is that we lost so much that it's on my generation too, like Gen X, to step up. You that are in your mid to late 40s, it's time for you to stand up, early 40s. It's time for you to stand up and start teaching, sharing some of your wisdom, and quit thinking that you know it all. And so that means that I'll have to go, because I'm talking about me, just like that reader was talking about. I'm going to have to be very intentional about going to my elders, my uncles, my mother, my people that are on my reservation. I'm going to have to ask them what they remember about what do you remember about going to church? Did you like it? What do you remember about the ceremonies? What do you remember about just like the community? Not everybody owned a car back then. So what was it like to get a visitor? And, what was it like to visit? COVID took that away from us, and you think that we'd be okay. We'd be grateful to be with one another, and we're not. It just feels, yeah. I have two social accounts, and one is TikTok and the other one is Snapchat. Why those two? The other ones I just had to get rid of. I was gonna cut them all off, but I just decided to keep two, because I actually am a volunteer within a couple of parachurch organizations, and one of them is more so youth based, and I need to understand their language and their talk and their lingo. So I go on these things and I just kind of listen to individuals, and but I gotta learn the language. So that's how I'm doing it. And so I hang out with them, but then I learn the language. Dang it, I forgot where I was going there. But I'll just back up a little bit. Maybe I'll remember. Um, so I look at these two that I'm on, and one of the big things that I see is that um, we are arguing now. I feel like even more than we were arguing going into the election season. I have people that are arguing about, um, vaxxers, um, people that are patriots and not patriots. It's just like we'll find something to argue about, and we'll argue it, and we're talking past one another. So I'm trying to be a good relative by sharing with you the things that I know as a Dakota man. Um, you might know them as Sioux people. We're one of the eastern tribes. Um, my tribe came from traditionally we came from before we were put out on the plains and up into Canada. We were in Minnesota. Minnesota actually, they're the combination of a couple Dakota words, mini meaning water, and ota meaning lots or a whole bunch, lots of water. But we knew it as something else. We called it something else. I think it was mini shoshe is how we said it. But we had words for different places around Minnesota. So I'm just trying to do my best and share with you what I can. I'll be uploading videos. I'll probably record some of these, especially the Today a Better Way and maybe the Courage to Change. Maybe I'll record those and then upload those. I've always felt like doing them live was better, but that was the what would you call it, the growing pain when I cut Facebook off. Um, the people that I did share with, the small audience that I had, I lost. So their comments would be real time, and I don't have a following over here because none of them followed me over here, which is okay. It's fine. It just means I have to start from scratch. And then I tried Twitch, and I maybe got a couple followers there. And I just was kind of like, man. So when I quit Facebook, I lost. I feel like it wasn't much, but I lost a lot. So I learned from that. And so I'll continue to do this and see what happens. I just don't want to. I don't want to go back to Facebook so fast. I had to create. I did have to create an account because my tribe was giving some money away because of COVID, um, and we had to watch their Facebook page for links or something like that. And I was like, well, I'm not on Facebook. Who can share this with me? So I just created a thing with just the bare minimum of information. And so I could see the page. I liked that page. And then um, got connected with a sister, and that was it. I have one friend on Facebook, and I've liked one page. But yeah, I lost a lot. But um, hopefully this will be a place, and this will be good for all of us. It's just not for me. I feel like the more, whoever it is, it could be one or two people, and responding in chat or whatever, I think that would be cool. It's just not me talking all the time. I can respond, read a question and be like, oh man, that's what this is, and then share from my life experience, and maybe that person feels brave enough or something. And then this, I can actually have Zoom capability, and we can talk to each other and record a conversation, have that live or whatever. I don't know. I'm open to anything right now because I truly believe what our relatives said. And um, we have to be brave enough to talk to one another and ask the hard questions of one another. So I'm going to try to do that, and I hope you join me. So yeah, it's been about 30 minutes. I think I'm going to cut this one short for now. It's a good start. I can come back tomorrow and do it again. Try another way. Maybe I'll use the OBS Streamlabs stuff, and put my video over this way, and then maybe we can watch something together, like um, a YouTube clip or something, and we'll go from there. But yeah, thanks for watching. And this is Today a Better Way, and then some just randomness tacked on the end. So Dokshta, okay. I'll see you guys later. That's what that means. See you later.